Here's more of our exclusive interview with U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman. Ambassador Friedman, so great to be with you, and thanks for being with us on CBN News.
Thanks, Chris. My pleasure to be with you.
May 14, 2018. Would you take us back to that day, and what did that mean for the United States and for Israel?
Well, I think, first and foremost, it was the day that I think the United States put itself on the right side of history. I would suggest maybe your audience might agree with me, put itself on the right side of God. It was the day that we recognized really one of the great historical truths of our time, that Israel has Jerusalem as its capital, has always had Jerusalem as its capital. People mentioned to me in that context around that period of time, what's the big deal? Everybody knows Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Isn't it just symbolic? And the answer is just the opposite. The fact is that everybody recognized Jerusalem was the capital of Israel. 3 presidents recognized Jerusalem was the capital of Israel. Congress recognized Jerusalem was the capital of Israel by overwhelming majorities, but no one did anything about it. And when something is true and you fail to recognize an obvious truth, that failure it can be very debilitating from the perspective of your foreign policy. So President Trump closed the deal. He sided with the truth, and I think that decision has now resonated throughout his foreign policy in all kinds of directions. It's, I think, strengthened us with regard to Iran, North Korea, other malign influences in the world, and I think it was just an extraordinarily important decision for the United States.
Yeah, and in a few days we're coming up on the anniversary of December 6, 2018, the one-year anniversary when he recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Did you see that as a pivotal moment as well?
Well, I think that was the first step. In other words, in order to move the embassy to Jerusalem, you had to recognize that Jerusalem was the capital. Look, it should have been done a long time ago. That recognition is found in the Jerusalem Embassy Act of 1995. And I think it was a setback for the United States to have waited so long. And by the same token, it was, I think, an enormous accomplishment by the Trump administration to correct what really had been an unjustifiable slight.
Yeah. So, and how would you describe U.S.-Israel relations 2 years after President Trump has taken over office?
I think they're at a level that's unprecedented, whether it's commercial relations, intelligence sharing, military cooperation. I think just sort of the feeling that Israelis have for their support from the United States. The Trump administration is the most supportive administration with regard to Israel in American history. And I think that's helped Israel in direct ways from, as I mentioned, the direct context, but also I think it's given Israel a stature with regard to its neighbors, with regard to the region, that I think enables it to branch out in ways that we really haven't seen before. So I think we're seeing extraordinary things happening with regard to Israel, and they're all positive.
What lessons from the Bible do you apply to being ambassador to Israel?
Well, the primary lesson I would think is on the painting that's right behind you. It's it's a painting with regard to the sin of the spies who came back after spying on the land of Israel and told Moses, with the exception of 2, with the exception of Joshua and Caleb, the other 10 said, we just can't conquer this land. And God considered it to be a great sin that the spies didn't have the confidence and the faith and the courage to believe in him and to go forward. And so, to me, the great lesson, the great biblical lesson to me is, look, I have no doubt I've committed many sins in the past. I'll commit many more in the future. But the one sin I hope not to commit while I'm here is the sin of the spies, which is the sin of not having faith or vision or courage or confidence in God's will and in the directions of the president. I think we're on the right track.